So the Lunar Owls are obviously struggling really bad without Nafisa Collier and Skylar Diggins. They're depending way too much on their bigs. When Aaliyah Edwards doesn't have a good game, they suffer even more. She went 23 points against the Rose in their first game, but went 6 for 20 against the Phantom. And they just have Aaliyah Edwards doing a lot. She's running the floor in transition, she's setting screens up top and then running backdoor off the pick and roll. She doesn't really have any time to rest really, because it's 3-by-3 is obviously very fast, and she's getting a lot more minutes than she did last year. Temi Fry Bentley is a great big, and she's not getting those minutes, and Aaliyah Edwards is just on the floor all the time. They need to use Rachel Banham more. She can be the perimeter shooter they're needing, and Marina Mabrey needs to stop worrying about the shot clock. I know that 18 seconds is intimidating, but it's really a lot of time, and they just need to stay patient. She needs to stop rushing her shots. Hopefully, their defense can get a little bit better when Diggins returns, but she's also turnover prone, so who knows how their offense is really gonna be looking. The Rose forced 17 turnovers, 11 of them being steals against the Lunar Owls, so I don't really see this team doing really well in the rest of the season without Nafisa Collier. I mean, of course, every team has a chance. I said last episode that the Mist, I didn't think we're gonna do well, but they're proving to be better than I thought. Um, Marina Mabrey, I think she just needs to settle. I think she just needs to get back used to the 3-by-3 play, needs to make sure that she's not rushing their shots off the 18 seconds. And she shot a random half court shot that she didn't need to shoot yesterday, and I was like, that's an interesting choice. Didn't need to shoot that at all. So I think she just needs to stop rushing her shots.
Kelsey, right? I was really impressed with how she started the game. There's a couple of shouts that maybe she could have gotten MVP in the W a couple years ago or a couple seasons ago. Well, she is getting up there in age, but it doesn't look like she's slowing down at all. Really went off. And someone else that I'm also impressed with too was Azura Stevens. I think she also got the party started for the Rose. She scored the first 8 points of the game, and she ended the first quarter with, I think, 10 points overall. So she's someone that I'm definitely keeping an eye out too with 6 rebounds, or even being offensive. That's someone that they can use to facilitate the ball and just keep things rolling. I was really impressed with how the Rose started. I know Lunar Owls, they're struggling, but I mean, to win in the fashion that Rose BC did win, I think they really put a statement out there. Their intent is to win this year, and I think a performance like that, it's really hard to stay under the radar.
I'm very impressed with the Breeze. Against the Phantom, which is one of the best teams in the league, Paige Beckers had 0 turnovers, 24 points, and 6 assists. And that's for someone who hasn't played in Unrivaled. I know she's played 3-by-3 before, that is amazing, and to have Rakia Jackson and Dominique Malonga as the starting 3, I said I wanted those 3 together, they delivered. Rakia had 16, Dom had 17 and 14 rebounds. Their team chemistry is just amazing. I think that their team has the best chemistry and the best ball movement so far.
Yeah, I think you can obviously make a case for the Breeze, and if you do look at that team, I think their chemistry is what really sets them apart. They kind of have a young core group of players, and I think that's what you need ultimately in 3-on-3. It's really fast paced, so you need, I mean, not discrediting what Chelsea Gray did because at her age is incredible, but I do think that at some point, like young, and youth is what's gonna be the factor in ultimately winning. So if you look at this Breeze roster, there's a lot of youth on there, and I think that's what's gonna set them apart. These are young, hungry players. They want to make a statement. This is that time where they can really jump up in the league as well, like become key centerpieces for their team, hopefully when the W returns. So I do have to agree with you guys. I've been really impressed with how the Breeze play. I think they could be the team to beat because they do have youth, but I think also with youth comes a lack of experience as well. The decision making might not be fully there with them. So I do want to be all in their boat saying, yes, they are the best. But I do think also that maybe sometimes youth isn't always the answer just because you need that veteran leadership to just reel them in because something's going wrong one game and they can't figure it out. That's when a veteran and the leader steps in and says, no, like we just have to stick to what we have to know and continue to play the way we know how to play. Uh, but I do think the Breeze are a fantastic organization and a fantastic club. They definitely are attracting a lot of attention. And could easily be the champions.
Who y'all think is the Breeze biggest competition right now? And both of these teams, as of this recording, are undefeated. The Rose or the Mist? Who you got, Eloise?
I have the Rose. They're the best defensive team. They force a lot of turnovers. I think Chelsea Gray, there's nobody better to play for. Chelsea Gray is the best ball handler, the best leader that you want on your team, and I think she will capitalize on the young players.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Eloise. I think that you look at this Rose team, I think they're the ones that are really gonna be the competing team just because, like Eloise was saying, one of the best defensive teams with such a quick and small shot clock, getting those extra possessions, 18 seconds, it might not seem like a long time. It can be a long time, when you don't have a lot of the ball and a team is constantly, in your face, you can really feel suffocated from them just because of you think you're forced to get a shot up. The Rose have one of the best defenses, and again, led by Chelsea Gray. She's part of that veteran, leadership that I was talking about that might not help some of the younger teams like the Breeze know exactly what to do. Super impressed before and after that the Rose played just because I expected them to win. I don't know if I expected them to win by that much and in a dominant fashion. They had, and I think if you look at that team overall, people can score all the time. You can also rebound too. I think they're a strong physical team. Those rebounds are, I think, in the defense is what's going to set them apart.
I do think that Kelsey Plum is the dominant force right now. She's doing it on all sides of the floor. She's a great defensive player. She had 38 points, only second to Chelsea Gray, who had 39 last year in the playoffs. Chelsea Gray is just an amazing player as well. She's the best ball facilitator there is. So I think I think it's gonna be a run.
Again, not to piggyback of what Eloise said as well, but yeah, I have to agree with Eloise here. At the end of the day, I think Kelsey Plum maybe has more of that dog in her than Chelsea Gray kind of does. Kelsey Plum is really, to me, a gritty, great player. When things aren't going her way, she wants the ball all the time. She wants to be taking the shots. She also wants to be blocking people on defense. You can stand up against some of the tallest people in the league, and you're like, yeah, I'll take that hit if that means doing anything for my team. And I think that's just the mentality that's going to carry her throughout this this league, really. And because you've seen a little bit of what she could do with the Olympic team when she won the gold medal. And so she has kind of that experience playing this style and this quick pace. So I think that experience and just the hunger and mentality she has going forward because she didn't have a horrible W season, but I just think there is more left. She didn't leave everything on the court that she maybe could have possibly done. So I think this off season for her is really a chance to just reset, regroup, and just show everyone like I'm Kelsey Plum. I'm one of the best brooms in the league.
It's going to be a hard decision between the Breeze and the Rose, not just because they're the best teams, but the Breeze just has a great energy to them, the young players. I think Unrivaled is a really social media forward team, and I think that they're just bringing a lot of personality to the league, and I think that's super fun. But the Rose, as I said before, is a huge defensive team. I'm a big fan of defensive players. I've always leaned towards the defense. Um, and I just think but the Rose is probably my pick.
Not to stay on Eloise's case. I'm actually gonna go away. No, no, no. No, not too greedy always. That's a good choice as well. But I don't know, there's just for me something about that Phantom team that really kind of catches my eye. I've been a big fan of Aaliyah Boston when she was in college and when she transitioned into the W. I think she's a fantastic player. And you talk about chemistry, Kelsey Plum on that team. So love to play with, maybe one of the MVP favorites. Who knows? Towards the end. So I think I would just feed off of her energy too, because people like Kelsey Plum, Aaliyah Boston, and Natasha Cloud. I mean, Natasha Cloud for me, one of the funniest people that I've seen on social media as well. I think when they do those questions in the hall or whenever the Liberty asks those types of questions, she's always the focal point. I think she brings really great vibes. And I just really like that the logo of the Phantom. There's just something about that ghost writing across the jersey that it just I don't know, it catches my eye. So I think if I wore that uniform every night, I would really go out there and fight.
All right. Y'all already know it's a one-on-one tournament that's happening in Unrivaled. If the matchup came out to be Eloise versus Kaylin, who win in that matchup?
Eloise, hands down. I no. Yeah, it's gotta be Eloise. I played basketball for, I think, a day when I was younger. I was not the tallest person, and I was always going against these much taller players, and I know, my sports are to center with low center of gravity, basketball, a horrendous jump shot, I can't sink a three. Yeah, I think I'd be a great bench player, bring the hype, bring the energy, maybe even the Gatorade if people need it. I just think if 1v1 came, I don't know if I could score.
I I don't I've been in the gym sometimes during my free time with some of my friends playing pickup. I can't shoot the ball. I cannot shoot the ball. I can be an okay defensive player. I played until I was, like, 13 maybe. I was, like, only a defensive player, though. So, really, I think we'd just be chucking shots up and struggling, and maybe getting a little scurvy, like, I think we might get injured.
No, we can't afford to get injured, not with the hills that we have to lock up.
True, true.
I gotta ask you, Kaylin. Well, what's your X handle? I gotta get that from you all the time.
It's always a trademark, and it's good to be saying this back again. This is how you know that this episode in this series is truly back. My Instagram, I'll start and I'll end it off with my Twitter. My Instagram is Caitlin A. McDonough, and then my Twitter, Caitlin McDonough. No, trademarking that. Want to put a laugh on someone's face out there.
Yeah, yeah. Eloise, you want to plug your socials, or you want to stay out the limelight?
Um, you know, I need to make a sports account, so when I do that, I'll plug myself.